Welcome to the Pizza Party. My name is Troy from troysweb.com. Visit my website for links to other YouTube channels that I am currently working on because YouTube insists that I divide my life into categories and genres and niches and yabba dabba doos. So let's go. Today I'm going to show you another pizza made with the Pillsbury thin and crispy pizza dough that comes in a tube, right? It's going to get cheesy. Here are three, this is the same exact pizza at three different stages of development, right? Here's level 1 cheese on the left, meat in the middle, and cheese on top of meat on the right. How did this come about? Well, I use the Pillsbury pizza crust. It comes in a cardboard tube and it goes pop when you open it up, right? You all know this type of dough, right? Tube thing. So on the screen, you'll notice, let's start at the bottom. That's the pizza crust. I spread it out. It's a rectangle, dude. It's designed to make a, what do they call it? A sheet pan pizza. And it is what it is. But I have an 8-inch cast iron, a well-oiled cast iron 8-inch skillet right there. And then going up to the top of the screen, you'll notice that I have a bag of the Walmart Italian blend, which is like 4 or 5 different varieties of Italian pizza: Romano, provolone, mozzarella, little parm maybe, I don't know, can't remember. But then I also have a block of whole milk mozzarella with the writing on it that says 6/20, 20/25, because this video was made back in June of 2025. And then in the center, you'll see that I have crushed red pepper, some Italian seasoning. And then on the right, you're going to see that bag of pepperoni. And then there's the bowl with the red lid. It says gurned beef for pizza. That's ground beef for pizza that I made into beef Italian sausage by adding a ton of seasonings. All right. Now, I took the pizza crust that is a rectangle and I ballparked a circle around a paper plate as a template to fit in my 8-inch cast iron pan. I wanted a little more lip. I wanted a little curvature, and I got it. And it came out perfect. But then for the leftover scraps, those two wings on the outer left and right of the pizza crust down below here, where's my mouse? There it is. These little guys, I took them and I balled them up and I tried to spread them out, and it just became mush. See this ball of mush? Now, since I did that, I've wondered, could I have powdered a little flour, a little bread flour on that, and got that to dry up and become a workable hunk of dough? Well, it's too late now, but since I didn't have that thought at the time, I pulled out the Mama Mary's leftover, the last pizza crust of the package, and I was looking for a way to use that up. I'll never buy that again. Not my favorite. But I took that Pillsbury dough and I stuck it in the cast iron, and I did par bake a tiny bit. I just wanted to get a little bit of color and a little bit of browning on that crust, but it's very, very minimal. Then my pizza sauce, in this case, is a 28-ounce can of crushed tomatoes with a big can of tomato paste. And that was a huge mistake on my part. I should have used a tiny can of tomato paste. And it really wasn't a huge can. It's like the difference between 6 ounces or 12 ounces, or maybe 8 ounces or 16 ounces. I don't know what the can sizes are. I'm not down with canned tomato stuff because I have a garden, man. I roast my own tomatoes in the oven, and you'll find that in other videos. I highly recommend that you check out my backlog of past videos, and they're really not past. They're all relevant. It's not like, oh, it's 30 years ago. So get busy. Go watch some more videos on my channel. I have a whole playlist there. It will play every video in a row that I've ever made on the channel. All right, so here we have the tomato sauce, a little bit of that Italian seasoning, and then a whole lot of cheese. I even had some orange cheese left in the fridge that I was just trying to use up. I dumped it on the pizza. You notice the clumps are the whole milk mozzarella block that I told you about here at the top that says 6/20/25 on it. That's a really good cheese, and I've started shredding that in a box shredder or a cheese grater, and it's a lot more, it gives you a lot more moisture, but it's bland. So you absolutely need to add a little salt, at least I do, and then you need to add that crushed red pepper flake. At least I do. You do you. So anyway, here is stage one. Here's stage two. I put down a layer of pepperonis on top of all that cheese, and then I put down that ground beef that is Italian sausage seasoned, and those yellow chunks that are laying around in there, that's beef fat from the ground beef. Yep, I did not drain the fat. Fat's flavor, dude, and it turned out really well in the end. And then I covered that with even more cheese. What? Yeah, I told you this was going to be a cheesy video. So here we go. Then I put on a couple more blobs of sauce just to make sure that it was not going to be a dry, pizza or a dry cheesy pizza. So then I wanted to make this a stuffed pizza because there's so much content in there, right? There's so much cheese in there. There's so much meat in there. But I couldn't get that Pillsbury, the scraps from the main crust to roll out into a thing because I didn't have flour. I didn't know what I was doing at the time. So I grabbed that Mama Mary's and I threw it on top, and I covered the whole thing with tomatoes. This looks like a restaurant quality freaking stuffed crust pizza that would go in the oven. It would get nice and hot. They'd pull it out and they'd shred a little bit of pecorino romano on top of there, hit it with a little bit of oregano, and put it on your table, and you'd be a happy camper. However, this pizza had that big hunk of dough, or that big crust. It's not a piece of dough. It's not baking. It's not thin. It's intended to be the base of a 6-inch personal pizza, and it's way too thick for this application. But fool around, find out, do something, even if it's wrong. Do it yourself. Learn from what you've done. I highly recommend keeping a journal. I have one called my Pizza Journal, right? It's a 99-cent composition notebook from the Walmart school section and office supply section, whatever. And yeah, I mean, what a beautiful looking pizza. Now, at this point, I quit because after I cooked this, I pulled it out, I cut it into 4 pieces, and I realized immediately that, that big cap of crust on the top, not dough on the top. It's a bona fide pizza crust. It was not going to work. So I grabbed a spoon or a knife and I flicked that crust off into the trash. And I had 4 very, very nice pieces of extremely cheesy, extremely meaty pizza. And actually, to tell you the truth, after I flicked off that, or after I removed that, so I took the whole pizza out of the pan like this. I cut it in 4 pieces because it's only an 8-inch pizza. And when I realized that, yuck, I did take a bite with the crust on. It's too thick. It's too much. I took the top off. And then I threw that back in the oven. And then I took the crust off the rest of them. And then I threw that back in the oven. So, lessons learned. But, man, I mean, that's a pretty picture. And, coming up in future videos, I will try to do this again, but in a successful manner instead of, I wouldn't call this a failure, right? I was still able to eat the pizza underneath. I just had to throw it back in the oven after I took off that pizza crust cap and that excess tomato sauce, and everything was golden. 90% of the pizzas, 99% of the pizzas you make are going to be golden, unless you burn the hell out of them, which is coming up when I show you my first wood-fired pizza oven experiment. But totally my fault, and I'll own up to it. I don't lie. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video today, and that you will subscribe to the channel for notifications. Ring that notification bell so that you get notified of all future videos, blah, 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 blah. But if nobody clicks that like button, I will quit coming back. You got to keep coming back, man. And then, that share button is quite interesting. You can click that. It will pop up a link. Would you like to send this by email, text message, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, yabba dabba doo, whatever else there is out there for the things under that share button. It's really cool, and I've been firing things off to all my dirt bike buddies when I see something really cool. And I've started using it a lot. I highly recommend that you do the same. And if you leave a positive comment, that will encourage me to make more videos. If you don't leave a comment, then I'll probably just dry up and go away. All right, man. Thanks for coming. Keep coming back.